Welcome back, everybody. We took a little break there. Ended up having more sinus troubles, nothing related to VP. I get that question a lot. I guess from that one video, I'd said, hey, I'm getting rid of all VP fuel. It wasn't even in the title or anything, but it was like, oh, VP fuel ruined you. No, no, it didn't. I'm allergic to a lot more than VP. This time, it's once again cigarette smoke. I can't do cigarette smoke, and caused me about 8 or 9 months on and off sinus infections. Wasn't really posting a whole lot. Haven't really posted a whole lot on Instagram, Facebook. I want to say we might have sold, I don't know, 15 units or so this summer. Got some parts done for some customers. But other than that, I was working, but I was just kind of taking clips, not really feeling like talking to the camera a whole lot, barely making it through the day. But hey, I did get some video, so I can do some voiceovers and kind of go back through our little summer adventures in reverse. And we got some turd signal kits and from WD Electronics. We did a brand new 2021 and I think a 2021 or 2022 General. Really sweet kit to get like some turn signals installed. So if anybody's interested in that, in Georgia, they just let side by sides ride on the road. So now everybody, that's the new thing, is to go downtown, and I think it's any speed limit under 45 miles an hour. You can ride one of those bad boys on the street. Did one top end motor builds, customer builds, and yeah, that's what this video is going to kind of be. Is just kind of smash up the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and yeah, hope you all enjoy it. So this was an interesting one. 2012 YFZ 450R came in for full motor build. The customer removed the motor himself. I had it on the stand. Everything looked good. Everything was in spec. Motor build went pretty smooth. Did OEM crank, OEM bearings. We did have to send the head off. Got new valve seats, all that good stuff from Williams Performance. We did not port the head. I talked the customer into, maybe more suspension work. The head would have been awesome, but hey, like 7% more power versus you're still on stock suspension. Me personally, I'd throw it all into suspension. So that's what he'll probably go with at a later date. But this bike, we did a intake cam. That was like a cheap upgrade we could throw in there while it was apart. And the stage 2 cam just was not timed right. So put the motor together, turned it over by hand before it left. It ran fine, or it pumped fine in the compression gauge. But whenever the customer tried to start it at home, it was kind of backfiring, not really sounding exactly right. I forgot. He didn't send me a video, but it was just not sounding healthy. So then the whole bike came back, which might have been the better option anyway for me to just go ahead and pull the motor so I could test it and everything. Whole bike comes back, and sure enough, it will not fire. Spray the intake. I get it to fire once, and it's just not happy. It's not hitting just right. It's not staying running. Take the cap off. Look at all of it. Motor is timed exactly dead on where it needs to be. And I just said, you know what? If you really want aftermarket cam, let's go ahead and do the B&R cam. I've used the B&R cam, on my race bikes in the past. They're welded and trued by B&R, so you know exactly where it's at. Hot cams was nice enough, instant return. They were able to take that cam back. But I actually dropped the cam out of my race bike also because I was having a weird hesitation. And Waynesboro Power Sports, I talked to them about some Vortex settings and some Vortex tunes for my personal bike because I'm not able to find a dyno right this second. And they said, hey, if it's got a hot cam in it, I would take it out. So I went with their suggestion, went ahead and took it out, put a B&R cam in it, and I'd say that about 90% of my hesitation around 4,000 RPM coming on to load is gone. So I don't know exactly. I don't really, time cams exactly like they are. I know I can tell you if it doesn't run right. But yeah, timing cams is not in my bag of tricks just yet. So that's where kind of B&R comes into play. They can time the cam, weld it true, so you know exactly where it's at. So here we are, just dropping this cam in, and then we're going to fire this customer's bike up and get him a quick video, show him, hey, easy, easy swap of the cam, bike fires up, and Alright, so all that trouble, literally B&R cam, same shim, same everything, and it fired up as soon as it hit the first power stroke, it fired up and sounds like it should. Sounds like it has a cam in it. So it's too late tonight to take it for a test ride or anything. I put the Vortex to what we were running on our tan build, which was the same exact motor, stock compression, stock bore. It had a different cam in it. This one is comparable. Supposedly, it has a little bit more lift, a little bit more duration. Maybe makes a little bit more power. I haven't had one on the dyno yet, but I know that it is timed exactly like it should, which is well worth the extra money just for that. So the shorty might make a difference. The last bike, the tan build, had a full-length DASA. But yeah, we're just gonna put the plastics back on it for tonight and then play around with it tomorrow. And the next day, I do not have a video of this, but it started to break up really bad on top end. So you could put it around about half throttle, 3/4 throttle, and then out of nowhere, it would pop and spit and sound like it was a fucking rocket. So I pulled it back in the garage, looked at the TPS just quickly and saw that it was out of range. So plugged it in the Vortex software, and it turns out whenever you go full throttle, the throttle body or the TPS was telling the ECU that the throttle blade was 127% open. So it was basically telling it was upside down. So hit the customer up, let him know, hey, your TPS is out of range. Me personally, I'd either, maybe send this throttle body off. It's a 2012. If it were me and it were my race bike, I would go ahead and buy a brand new takeoff from, a reputable like JH or somebody like that. Just go ahead and get a brand new throttle body. Let's put it on there, and I guarantee this thing is going to absolutely rip. But for the time being, he said, let's see if we can do anything to try to get me by. So I adjusted the TPS and the throttle cable. I had to leave the throttle cable about a 1/4 of an inch play, a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch play. And if I did that at idle, the TPS sensor would say 0. And at full open throttle, it would say 99% throttle. But of course, that only relied on the cable being loose. So you all know cables stretch, cables change, whenever they heat up, they cool down. And I think he might have made it one ride to Durham town, which was unfortunate. And the cable had moved, something had happened. Either that or the TPS just got hot. And whenever they get hot, they'll start sending out random numbers if they're bad. So same thing, he got it on the track and he said, hey, 3/4 throttle, this thing feels like it's not tuned. But it's just the TPS telling the throttle blade that it's upside down. So I think he tried a new throttle position sensor. He did hit me up and ask for the ranges, but I didn't get an update on that one. But I bet if usually sometimes no news is good news. So I hope that did work for him. If not, then I'll definitely hook him up with a new throttle body whenever he's ready. All right, so I think this is about our third engine for the week. Brand new YFZ piston and Millennium redid the cylinder on this one. We already gapped the rings, we already filed the rings, all that stuff's good to go. The only reason we swapped it out is because it seemed like a lot of customers did not want high compression race gas. I understand because this is like a standard suspension, Hauser arms, GNCC width. It has like a bunch of bolt-on parts that a bunch of people would want, but it's not like full-blown, race gas was a little bit much. So I think we can relist it at 10,000 with a brand new Williams cylinder head. Just got that back. So Williams redid the head for us. Brand new valve seats, brand new guides. He already previously poured and polished it, so he ran it through the vapor home and cleaned it up for us. So this thing should last somebody a long time. So right now we're just getting all of our parts swapped over. I had them all kind of on a different bench, so I'm just gonna move them over. That one's actually a plastic bolt. So is that one. Alright, there's your head parts. Exhaust parts can go up here by the gasket. Alright, and these two go in cylinder head. This is a skid plate one. And then all of our plastic clips. And we just got our intake tube to put on as well. So some of the other parts are still on the bike for our fuel customs. Alright, so that's top dead center. Our chain's not bound up, so we're just going to put it back in there and we'll scoop it out once we get the cylinder head on. There's not really a point in trying to keep it perfectly under tension just yet. Take the tension, or put the tension on the tensioner. Alright, so we're gonna put the flathead in the back and pop the little lock on it. That way our chain is under tension. And now we should be free to spin the motor by hand and check valve clearances. center. About right there. Got our feeler gauges out. 15. No. Even that last one was kind of a no. It just happened to slide in there. 20 for the exhaust. Exhaust might be a little bit tight. Let's see what else we got. Let's try 15. 15 fits. About 18. 18 fits. Let's try 20 again. No, it doesn't fit. So double check our sheet. I am almost positive it should be 20. Yeah, 20 to 25. And then intakes were good at, I want to say they're 0.13 right now. So let's take the exhaust back out, and we're going to do a smaller shim to increase distance. That way we have more clearance, because right now we're sitting like 0.18, pretty solid. And valves wear tight, so we want to set them more towards the loose side or somewhere in the middle of this range. So let's pop the cam caps back out, pop the tensioner out, and adjust the exhaust valves. Alright, so we swapped the piston out for standard compression. Still has a ported head, still has the same cams. But now that we're not running race gas, we're going to get off of map 9 and go back to map 1. Let's try the same settings. Actually, let's do 666 and see how that behaves whenever we do start it up. That's a pretty easy map, so yeah, map 1, 666, and then we'll get the intake exhaust on, get the fuel tank on with some 93 in it, and then start it up and see what it sounds like. hookup I had was the clutch safety isn't twisted together. I pulled the connector out and saw that, and then popped the bike in neutral. And after that, it fired up first go. Fluids are good. The radiator burped a little bit, so we just topped it off. Oil level's still on full, so chain looks good. All the stuff that needs to be connected is connected. We got a little bit of work to do on the skid plate. You can see the skid plate over here in the corner, right there. But I think we're good to put the plastics back on and take it for a quick test ride, just to kind of test everything out, because it has been down for 2 or 3 months. And if all that checks out, then we'll do some thread repair on the skid plate, get it back on there, and hopefully get it to a new home. If you're seeing this video, then this 2017 Special Edition is still available. So don't sleep on this one. This one's clean. I am surprised that it has not gone to a new home much sooner. The only thing I can think of is the graphics. You know, 2021 Special Edition, 2022, wearing the flow yellow. I tried to explain in the ad, I can put any graphics that y'all want in there. If y'all want an orange graphic, that way it looks like a 23. If y'all want hollow, we can do hollow. But y'all are sleeping on this one. Full Henson clutch, full ported head, brand new from Williams, brand new top end. Bottom end was replaced 2023. Full suspension, all done by Rocket Ron, 2023, 0 hours. Y'all are sleeping on this one. So hey, if you see this video, go check it out on the website, limitless-powersports.com. Alright, so instead of making one long video, I think this video would go an hour and a half if we mixed our last 5 months of life into this one. So hey, we're gonna split it into two. You get about 3 or 4 bikes this video. Next video, you get about 3 or 4 bikes. Keep it even. Next one up, 2024, YFZ 450R, Empire exhaust, Vortex. We got some issues to solve, some common missed mistakes, even from the dealer, that just weren't resolved. Stuff that we can fix easily. That's why we go ahead and show you. So if you can fix it at home, or you're welcome to bring us your bike so we can kind of rattle all the things, see what's going on, see if we can help you out. And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching this video. If you can, like, subscribe, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.